Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. If you have something valuable, you don't just want to leave it sitting around exposed to the elements, right? Sports cars have garages, boats have marinas, and airplanes? They have what is known as hangars. Hangars are massive buildings typically made of metal. With high ceilings and large open spaces, they are ideal for protecting commercial, private, and military craft from sunlight and weather. They also provide a safe place for maintenance, cleaning, and upkeep. Many newer airplane hangars boast unique features like movable doors, fabric roofs, and emergency fire suppression systems. In all cases, the entire purpose is geared towards preserving and protecting the hundreds of millions of dollars worth of aircraft being stored inside. There are situations in which erecting a permanent hangar for airplane storage is not feasible. In this case, companies like Build Air have designed unique, inflatable hangars that can be easily transported from one place to another. The company has an extensive background in producing temporary structures for industrial and disaster relief purposes. Their new inflatable hangar is designed to be used with a simple anchoring system and can be installed on all manner of surfaces. The structure itself is made of tubes that feature a network of durable membranes. As these are inflated, the structure takes shape and forms a relatively durable outer shell in minutes. Typically, constructing airplane hangars is a much more time-intensive process. The structures are largely made of steel, which form the main frame upon which other materials can be added. The surface is usually made of tarmac or cement, which provides a more stable foundation for the metal pylons. Though many of these buildings will go on to accommodate metal roofs, others will have a durable fabric stretched over them instead. Of course, aircraft carriers are already light on space, so they can't even accommodate temporary or inflatable aircraft hangars. Instead, they have an entire deck committed to housing planes, equipment, fuel, and arms. Known as the Hangar Bay, this open area is found 2 decks below the flight deck. On a ship like the Dwight D. Eisenhower, the bay is 680 feet long, 110 feet wide, and 25 feet high. This might not seem that large, but it is usually enough space to hold more than 60 aircraft. There are a total of 4 elevators facilitating the movement of planes from the flight deck to the hangar bay, as well as special jet engine testing areas. Even so, moving these planes requires a lot of coordination from dozens of individuals and a dedicated director.
My job as a director is mainly taking on full responsibility of a multi-million-dollar aircraft and moving it safely without having any mishaps of any sort, any crunches or anything like that. It's really rewarding because at the end of the day you get to see the missions that you actually get to do and to know that you had a part in operations that not a lot of people get an opportunity to do. You contribute more than you even think.
The hangar bay and its various features are extremely important to a lot of the operations that take place aboard the ship. Some aircraft carriers are often away from shore for months at a time. So, crew members must make the most of their limited space. They might choose to exercise in the bay, for example, or use the elevators to practice fast rope exercises. Still, it's important to remember that, whatever else it may be, thousands of pounds of heavy ordnance and weapons are stored here, so it's important to take proper precautions at all times. In the end, the only reason aircraft carriers exist is to allow military planes to operate outside their normal flight range. From reconnaissance and rescue missions to all-out military operations, aircraft carriers are integral to maintaining peace around the world. Though the bulk of planes will be stored in the hangar bay, a few dozen typically remain on deck in the event of an emergency. This is usually done with tie-down chains, which hook across hundreds of small tie-down points on the deck. Of course, keeping an aircraft on the ship is nowhere near as difficult as helping it land on one. For decades, the military has employed special arresting gear systems in order to help planes come to a complete stop atop an aircraft carrier flight deck, which measures just 300 feet. This length is about 2,000 feet short of the runway length required for normal aircraft takeoff and landing. The system generally consists of metal cables that can be snagged by the tailhooks of landing planes. Though it might seem like an easy enough operation, it takes a lot of work behind the scenes to maintain the system and keep pilots and crew members safe.
On a day-to-day basis, we recover $1 million aircraft with an 1 7/16" diameter cable. It stops an aircraft from roughly about 200 miles an hour to zero in the size of what is most people's yards. We consider ourselves the hardest working and the dirtiest people on the ship. Reason for that is because we deal with so much grease and so much preservative and so much lubricant, and on top of that we also deal with all the aircraft on the flight deck.
Whatever the purpose of a plane, be it commercial, military, or recreational, these expensive machines need to be kept safe from the elements. On land or at sea, whenever they need some ground space, hangars and hangar bays help to keep these multi-million-dollar aircraft safe and in good working order. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.